When Prison Break hit our screens, it wasn't just the daring escapes and twisted conspiracies that kept us hooked, it was the unforgettable characters.
That's odd, because...
From masterminds and madmen to loyal friends and ruthless enemies, these were the people who made every episode impossible to forget. Welcome back to Nerdy with Nelson, the home for everything cinematic. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 most memorable characters in Prison Break.
You look surprised.
The ones who left a mark, stole the show, or haunted us long after the credits rolled.
Oh, yeah, I understand it.
Be sure to watch till the end to see if your favorite character made the list.
Okay.
In the high-stakes world of Prison Break, where most characters operated in shades of gray, Veronica Donovan stood out as a rare beacon of morality and justice.
Justice and punishment are the same thing, Doc.
Introduced as Lincoln Burrows' former girlfriend and a successful attorney, Veronica wasn't just a secondary character, she was the first person who truly fought the system from the outside.
Thanks.
While Michael was orchestrating a brilliant escape on the inside, Veronica was waging her own war in courtrooms and back alleys, trying to uncover the truth behind the conspiracy that landed Lincoln on death row.
That's why I'm here, right?
What made Veronica unforgettable wasn't just her professional skills or her intelligence, it was her relentless pursuit of justice.
It's nothing, you know.
She wasn't a fighter in the physical sense, but her courage was just as powerful.
I'm saying somebody's trying to hide what really happened, what the truth about Terrence Stebbin really was.
She put her career, her reputation, and eventually her life on the line to take on a massive cover-up involving powerful government forces and corporate interests.
That's not worth talking
At
about.
a time when nearly everyone around her urged caution or turned their backs, Veronica doubled down, digging deeper, chasing leads, and following a dangerous trail that few would dare pursue.
Their deaths are on your head.
Her emotional bond with Lincoln added another layer of complexity.
I sure as hell hope so.
Veronica wasn't just fighting for a client, she was fighting for someone she once loved, someone she still believed in.
I've loved you since the first time I saw you.
And that loyalty gave her story real heart.
I thought about you the whole time.
She wasn't driven by glory or ambition, she simply wanted the truth to come out, no matter the cost.
That can't be Terrence Stebbin.
Unfortunately, that cost was devastating.
Oh my God.
Veronica's murder early in season 2 was a gut punch to the audience.
Yeah, I'm gonna be fine.
It was shocking, brutal, and set the tone for the ruthless nature of the forces Michael and Lincoln were up against.
That's what we're here for. Remember?
Her death wasn't just a plot twist, it was a turning point.
It's not.
It reminded viewers that in the world of Prison Break good people don't always survive.
So?
And doing the right thing can come at the highest price.
Oh please, you're preposterous.
Though she appeared in only the first season and a small part of the second, Veronica Donovan left a lasting impression.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be talking about it.
She represented what the world outside the prison was supposed to be, lawful, fair, and just.
I want the conviction overturned and Lincoln Burrows immediately released from custody.
And in a show full of masterminds, fugitives, and villains, she was the conscience, a character whose memory lingers long after her final scene.
I don't mean to challenge what you're saying.
Few characters in Prison Break took viewers on a journey as complex and unpredictable as Paul Kellerman.
Mind us asking why?
Introduced as a cold and calculating Secret Service agent working for the company,
No, I just wanted to stop by and
Kellerman
tell you.
initially comes off as a textbook villain, manipulative, remorseless, and utterly loyal to the corrupt administration behind Lincoln Burrows' wrongful conviction.
That'd be fraud, wouldn't it, Your Excellency?
But Kellerman was never just a one-dimensional antagonist.
Actually, higher agendas here.
From the start, there was something deeper beneath the surface, a sense of duty, twisted loyalty, and even vulnerability that made him fascinating to watch.
I can still do my job?
He wasn't evil for the sake of being evil, he genuinely believed he was serving his country.
Admirable.
He saw himself as a soldier in a larger war, and the ends, in his mind, justified the means.
Put Lincoln Burrows in the ground.
Throughout Season 1 and much of Season 2, Kellerman played a key role in tightening the noose around Michael and Lincoln.
It's getting shipped out tomorrow.
He wiretapped, murdered, and manipulated with chilling efficiency.
We are very good and what we do.
But as the conspiracy began to unravel, so did Kellerman's faith in the cause he once believed in.
Where I don't know what good or bad is anymore.
Betrayed by the very people he protected, especially Caroline Reynolds and the company, he found himself abandoned, expendable, and hunted.
President Reynolds ruined your life. She ruined my life. You want to take the bitch down? You just found your inside man, but it's got to be right now.
And that's when the most surprising transformation began.
By all means. By all means.
Kellerman's arc shifted dramatically from villain to anti-hero, and eventually, something close to redemption.
Highest honor was to smile when they shot you.
He began working with Sarah Tancredi, even helping Michael and Lincoln when they needed it most.
Who are you?
I used to work for the president.
His testimony in court became a turning point in the brothers' legal battle, exposing the conspiracy and forcing the system to listen.
See, Lincoln Burrows gets executed. People forget about Terrence Steadman, the controversy surrounding him and the presidency, and nobody ever knows about.
What made Kellerman so memorable wasn't just the twist in his role, it was how authentic his transformation felt.
I followed orders. And I did terrible things.
He didn't magically become a good guy.
I need specifics.
He struggled with guilt, with identity, and with the weight of everything he'd done.
I've changed really bad way.
He was haunted by his past, but he still made the choice to do the right thing when it mattered.
What I'm about to divulge to you will in all likelihood get me killed. Actually, I guarantee it.
Played brilliantly by Paul Adelstein, Kellerman became a fan favorite not because he was perfect, but because he was real.
Things I've done, Christy.
Undo them.
He showed that even the worst people can change, even if it comes too late to save themselves.
It turns out I did those things in service of nothing.
In a show packed with masterminds and mercenaries, Paul Kellerman stood out as a man who lost his way, and then clawed his way back to something resembling honor.
Because this was supposed to be about country, about loyalty, about what's right, but it wasn't. Because I wronged people who should not have been wronged.
His journey from villainy to redemption is one of Prison Break's most powerful and unexpected character arcs.
Okay, any way you look at it.
At first glance, Brad Bellick seemed like the kind of character you'd love to hate.
You look surprised.
As the head correctional officer at Fox River, Bellick was arrogant, petty, and power-hungry.
10 commandments don't mean a box of piss in here. We got 2 commandments and 2 only. The first commandment is you got nothing coming.
Someone who abused his authority and relished making life miserable for inmates.
Bunch of shiftless, no-good convicts.
In the early episodes of Prison Break, he felt like a classic obstacle.
Yeah.
The small-minded prison guard who couldn't stand being outsmarted, especially by someone like Michael Schofield.
Oh, by the way, how's the foot?
But Prison Break had a knack for taking one-dimensional characters and peeling back layers.
Who?
And Brad Bellick might be the best example of that.
You were saying?
After being fired from Fox River,
Officer Brad Bellick will be terminated effective immediately.
Bellick's story takes a sharp turn.
You got a problem with that?
He goes from barking orders behind a badge to being thrown into the very system he once controlled.
25 years.
No.
Suddenly, the bully becomes the inmate.
Welcome home, boss.
And in this reversal of roles, viewers get a glimpse of something unexpected: vulnerability.
Some bitches! Come and get me! You hear me? I ain't scared of you!
What makes Bellick so memorable is not just how much he changes, but how messy, uncomfortable, and real that change feels.
Wrap it up.
He doesn't suddenly become a hero.
I don't care.
He's still selfish at times, still crude and morally gray.
I'm a big jerk, so shame on me.
But as he's stripped of power and status, he begins to evolve.
Changes people.
He starts to see the inmates not as animals, but as people, many of whom are more honorable than he ever was.
Hang in there, man.
His eventual alliance with Michael and the team in later seasons marks a major turning point.
Que paso, Schofield?
He begins fighting not for power, but for purpose.
What does that mean?
And his tragic death in Season 4, sacrificing himself for the greater good, is one of the most unexpectedly emotional moments in the entire series. The man who once valued control and fear died a hero, earning the respect of the very people he used to oppress.
I never thought the guys would be so sad for Brad Bellick.
Brad Bellick's journey is Prison Break at its finest, a character we thought we knew, forced into new circumstances, and transformed by hardship, humility, and unlikely companionship.
Oh yeah.
His arc reminds us that redemption doesn't always come wrapped in nobility, it can be ugly, difficult, and hard-won.
Alright, Einstein. What you thinking?
In a show full of masterminds and monsters, Brad Bellick stands out as the flawed, human middle ground, a man who started as a villain and ended as one of the most unexpectedly sympathetic characters in the series.
Guys hurt. It's more than just hurt, that's pain. I never cared about anything like that. Now look at what I've done with my life. Beating on cons at Fox River, chasing money, trying to keep my own ass out of prison. This is how
When Alexander Mahone was introduced in Season 2 of Prison Break, he didn't just raise the stakes, he redefined them.
Look, I get it.
As a special agent for the FBI, Mahone was brought in to lead the nationwide manhunt for the Fox River 8.
In 140 years, the fundamental mind of the escaped man has not changed.
And from the moment he entered the scene, it was clear, Michael Scofield had met his match.
Up there! Schofield is in the building! Take him!
Mahone wasn't just a federal agent, he was a strategist, a tactician, and a man with the mind of a chess master.
What's the hardest thing in the world for a con to do?
Nothing?
Two things in life are certain, Liz.
Lang.
Death, taxes, and the fact that a man on the run will make a mistake sometime in the first 72 hours. Needing distance, he'll steal a car. Needing money, he'll rob a store. Needing help, he'll trust someone that he shouldn't. And when he does, he will leave behind the crumbs that will take us right to him.
Unlike other adversaries who tried to outmuscle Michael, Mahone went for the intellect.
So you plan. And you scheme for months. Until you get it right.
He could think like Michael, anticipate him, and even admire him in his own twisted way.
I have to tell you, what your dad and uncle pulled off, very impressive.
Their cat-and-mouse game across Season 2 created some of the show's most suspenseful moments, with Mahone always just one step behind, or one step ahead.
Get men at all the area hospitals, wherever they are. One of them's bleeding good.
But what made Mahone a memorable character wasn't just his brilliance, it was the deep, psychological torment he carried with him.
I'm fine.
Behind the sharp suits and calm demeanor was a man unraveling.
And I noticed that about you. You're
Haunted by the ghosts of those he'd killed, including Oscar Shales, and manipulated by the shadowy company into doing their bidding, Mahone was constantly walking a razor-thin line between justice and madness.
Yeah, you and I got a lot in common.
Viewers quickly realized that Mahone wasn't a villain in the traditional sense.
Maybe you should.
He was a tragic figure, a man who once stood for law and order but was slowly crushed by corruption, addiction, and grief.
They did this.
His dependence on pills, his guilt over his past, and his emotional breakdowns gave the audience a rare glimpse into the mind of someone losing his grip on reality, even as he chased the most calculated fugitive on the planet.
I'll see you soon, Michael.
As the series progressed, Mahone evolved.
I haven't ruled that out as a possibility.
Forced to go on the run himself, he shifted from predator to ally, forming an uneasy alliance with Michael and his crew.
Alex, good luck.
And as much as they distrusted him, Mahone proved time and time again that he was willing to fight for something beyond himself, especially after the death of his son.
You narrow your field from 10 million till about 50, and then I can pick the guy out from there.
Which became one of the most devastating and motivating moments of his journey.
We will meet again. And when we do, I'm gonna show you just how personal things can get.
Mahone's arc is one of the most compelling in the entire series.
Thank you.
From hunter to hunted, villain to avenger, he blurred the lines between right and wrong better than anyone else in Prison Break.
I think you're in a place where you can make a clear determination about that.
He was terrifying, broken, brilliant, and ultimately, redeemed.
That's the preferable outcome.
In a show built on brilliance and survival, Alexander Mahone stands out as the tortured genius, the man who could have been Michael's greatest enemy but ended up one of his most respected allies.
I guess this is where I say goodbye.
In the brutal world of Prison Break, where everyone has a dark side, Gretchen Morgan still managed to stand out.
Good-looking ones are always taken.
Known by the code names
Susan B. Anthony.
Gretchen was the embodiment of deadly precision, cold calculation, and unapologetic brutality.
How about that?
Introduced in Season 3 as the mysterious operative in charge of overseeing Lincoln's mission to break out Michael from Sona prison, she quickly proved that she was far more than just another company agent.
Get to work.
What made Gretchen instantly memorable was her unflinching presence.
Fine, I can do that next.
She wasn't a subtle villain, she was terrifyingly direct.
1 hour, tops. You're off the face of the earth.
Whether torturing, threatening, or manipulating, she approached every move with a mix of military efficiency and psychological menace.
You push anything too far into a corner and the claws will come out.
Her cold stares, clipped dialogue, and ability to flip between charm and savagery made her both unpredictable and dangerous.
Absolutely not.
She didn't just kill, she made a statement every time she did.
You're never gonna try anything like that again.
But like many characters in Prison Break, Gretchen wasn't just a one-note villain.
I believe you.
Beneath her lethal exterior was a complex and deeply damaged woman.
You need to quit playing Sherlock Holmes and leave her
Her
alone.
occasional vulnerability, especially involving her daughter, who was kept secret from her enemies and even her allies, added an unexpected layer of humanity.
I love you.
For a character introduced as a ruthless enforcer, Gretchen's backstory revealed a life defined by trauma, survival, and sacrifice.
So that's done.
She didn't become a monster overnight.
You care to elaborate?
The world shaped her into one.
Oh, that's sweet.
Her dynamic with the other characters was electric.
I hope so.
She clashed with Lincoln, manipulated Whistler, threatened Sophia, and even shared a twisted connection with Teabag.
No problem.
But perhaps her most intriguing moments came when she briefly aligned with Michael and his team, not because she believed in their cause, but because her own survival depended on it.
Figuring this whole thing out.
Even in cooperation, Gretchen remained a wild card, someone whose loyalty was always conditional.
And you can make that problem disappear.
Quickly and completely. With an extra added bonus. Crucial, I might add.
What cemented her as one of Prison Break's most unforgettable characters was her fearlessness.
Good.
Gretchen wasn't afraid to face death, betrayal, or consequences.
I'm gonna give you one chance. Did you order the escape from Sona Penitentiary? Yes or no?
She did whatever it took to complete the mission, even if that meant standing alone.
Here we go.
And by the end of her arc, she became more than just a villain, she became a symbol of what the world of Prison Break could turn someone into.
He just cracked my whole electric complex wide open.
In a show where intelligence and strategy often took center stage, Gretchen Morgan brought raw force, feminine power, and psychological warfare to the front line.
I like that.
Cold, complex, and commanding, she's a character you may fear, but one you'll never forget.
Good.